This is my shield. But there's no part of my soul inside. We need to look somewhere else. But I can feel the missing part. Close. Maybe it's the men here. Maybe it needs something from us.
O All-Mother, keeper of day and night, shelter us in your embrace. Oh, I hope I'm not bothering you. Don't worry about me. I don't have much time left anyway. Look after yourself, though. You've got a lot of life ahead of you. My family, my daughter, her husband, and my grandson, we all used to live in this house together. Now, I don't even know whether they're still inside. I was visiting my sister in the borough for what might have been the last time. She's 2 years younger than I am, but she's always been sickly. When I got back, the plague was already raging. The Red Priests either took the others or drove them away. Nobody can tell me if they took my family to the island asylum, or if they're all lying dead inside, with flies crawling all over them. So I sit here and pray. What else can I do? If I could, I would have done it a long time ago. The doors are locked. Quarantine. I guess I shouldn't be sitting here either, but nobody's chased me off yet. Thank you, but please, just be careful. Thank you. You're a good person. Now I'll pray to the All-Mother for my family to come back safe, and for you too.
Help a soul out on your journey, will you?
Yeah? Ah, yes. Yes, now I remember. I remember it all. On the 14th day of the month of Oak, a procession dressed in red passed through. They dragged people from their homes. Eventually they came for us as well. Me and my Brianna, our possessions. They took everything, took it all for themselves. Now I have nothing left. I'm just a poor man. Please, save me. Please. Thank you. Thank you. May the word of the prophet guide you. Back then I lived in the borough, near Camelot, you see. I was there when the priests came with a crowd of penitents, dressed in robes made of parchment laden with the word. The priests cracked their holy whips and delivered fiery speeches. No more red death, no more suffering. No, but I was cured nonetheless. I gave up everything for the cure. I gave up Brianna and all my possessions. I had to cleanse myself. Yes, now I am pure. Can you see? Can you see? Yes, now I am pure. Can you see? Can you see? Thank you.
Oh, is that you, Roy? Have you finally come to visit your grandpa? I won't listen to this drivel. One more lie, and you'll all regret it. Anyone could write such nonsense. That's it. I've had enough of your scheming. Goodbye.
Always a pleasure to see you. Damn it. Damn it. I know you tried. This isn't your fault. It's mine. Wilbur was my patient. I can't run this hospital all on my own. It's an impossible task. No one knows. He barely speaks. And when he does, it's all nonsense. The poor man's lost his mind. I'm afraid there's no point in talking to him right now. Besides, he needs rest. You should speak to Legate Denham. All I know is they sent him somewhere. And when he came back, he was like this. If I had to guess, I'd say it's the effects of the weirdness. He's a seasoned soldier. I'm sure he's seen plenty in his life. I doubt anything could scare him enough to drive him mad. The other soldiers said he was acting completely normal before, so it's not some long-standing illness of the mind, unless he hid it very well. But I've seen similar cases in people who spend a few nights, or even one, beyond the Menea's reach. Someone with money, preferably. I won't lie. I've thought about it already. More than once. Someone who can supply us with ingredients. Maybe an alchemist, to make the medicines. At one point, I even considered asking the Red Priests for help. But Neonte would have my head. Then I thought about Orwin and the Merchants' Union. But I can't abandon the patients. Just to have a long discussion about the business prospects of a failing hospital. Huh. What doesn't she have against them? First, she abhors the doctrine of K. On a purely theological level. Her words, not mine. And then it's all about politics. She says the influence of the Red Church is undermining the position of the All-Mother on Avalon. I don't know. Maybe people just turn to whoever is willing to help. If the priestesses aren't enough, someone has to step in. I know. That's why I'm hesitant. But some of them are also quite innovative. No one can deny that their research into the Red Death has led to real progress in medicine. I suppose if I were ever to run a hospital with one, I'd have to make sure they don't get too ambitious. You do that? For me? Why? I just told you the hospital has no money. I can't pay you for your efforts. That's very noble of you. But still, when the hospital is back on its feet, I'll find a way to repay you. Thank you. Even if it doesn't work out. Your offer means the world to me. I've been alone with this for so long. It's good to finally have some hope.
Wasn't expecting elixirs, powders, ointments, got something for wounds, poisons, something to keep you on your feet through the night and help you survive the cold. And all of it made by my own hands, with science. No tricks, no vile spells. Yes. All magic is a scam, an illusion that pretends to give you something but always takes more in return. My elixirs work because they're based on knowledge and experience, not some fickle power from another world. Anyway, go ahead and read my anti-magic manifesto. I've laid it all out, why the magical plague must be wiped from Avalon. And I assume you're here to hand me an invitation? Let's skip the pleasantries. Why would merchants take over the patronage of a hospital? And why should I have anything to do with it? Touching, but I'll have to disappoint you. I couldn't care less. The people of Cuanacht have always had a knack for entrusting their lives to magical scarecrows, like that men here looming over us. As you can see, wisdom isn't their strong suit. If you don't have a better argument, we might as well end this conversation now. It's true that my business has been struggling for some time now. The priests are to blame. Ever since they started strutting around Cuanacht, people have been hesitant to use the services of alchemists, afraid of how the Red Church might react. Fine. You've got my attention, but you'll have to put in some effort. I've been having a serious problem with my supplies lately. The Red Church is hoarding every remotely valuable alchemical ingredient for themselves. Here's a list of items I particularly need. Come back when you have everything. Then I'll join this union, whatever that turns out to be. Now off with you. You've got plenty of work ahead.
Nice to see you. Welcome! I haven't seen you around before. but since you decided to visit, I can tell that you have excellent taste. One day, a friend of mine asked me if her new dress looked good, and I told her, you have excellent taste. She was tickled pink and said, oh, do you really think so? And I said, absolutely. After all, you came to me for advice. Now, let's get down to business. My name is Osmond. If you're in need of a bow or some arrows, I'm here to explain everything and offer you some advice. Gossip is for women and innkeepers. You should see Morag for that. She's both. She's a good one. About 3 years ago, I helped her fix her roof because her husband had died, and there was no one else to do it. She still mentions it. Osmond, you fixed that roof better than any roofer could. She tells me that every time she sees me. No. Good advice is always handy, especially when it comes from someone experienced. And believe me, when it comes to archery, I'm not just an expert. I'm beyond that. In fact, I'd be surprised if you found anyone on Avalon who knows more about it than I do. Well, find me someone else who's been doing this for over 40 years. Every aspect of it. Back in '84, I was chosen to represent Cuanacht in the team archery tournament. And I wasn't even a lick over 18 back then. During one round, we were shooting at targets 100 meters away. The target was the size of a small apple and the wind was blowing from the left. So, I took aim and wham! Right in the middle. Even the captain of the Camelot team jumped up and asked, have you got any more like this one? Maybe the boy would rather shoot for us. If you were older, you surely would have heard of me. I could have been the first of Avalon's archers. They almost knighted me. But as it happened, I joined the watch, got married, and, well, that was that. Hey, if only I'd had the common sense back then that I have now. Ha! I'm not surprised he's asking me. Without my financial backing and, more importantly, my experience, most of the guild's investments wouldn't stand a chance. They really value my involvement, and that gives me leverage. In other words, I can do a bit of bargaining. Have you heard the legend of Robbie of Grubwood? A bandit who stole from rich merchants and gave the gold to commoners. They say he was an incredible archer. At least, that's how the story goes. People say the same about me, but I'm still waiting for someone to write a song about me, like they did for Robbie. It's only a matter of time. Robbie's long dead. I heard someone in his gang betrayed him. He's buried in a tomb not far from here, along with his bow. And that bow has been on my mind for a while now, you see. According to legend, it's made from centuries-old yew, and enchanted by a druid whose life Robbie once saved. Bring me that bow, and I'll support Alwyn's investment. What do you say? That's what I like to hear. I always say sticking close to older, more experienced folks is worth it. There's so much you can learn from them. Am I right? Of course I am! What about it? You found it? As it happens, there's something you can do for me. I've written a letter to Lord Yvain, a few suggestions on how, in my view, he ought to handle this whole business with Camelot. Figured he could use a bit of advice from someone with strategic sense, a head for negotiation, and a touch of military experience. Would you take it to him? You've got younger legs and I'd rather not leave my stall unattended. I'll give you a few coins for your trouble. Brilliant! Here you go, just don't lose it. I've only got the one copy and I've no mind to write it all out again. Oh. Leave it already?
Oh, hello there. You're not here to talk about the men here, are you? Oh, please say no. I've had my fill of that topic for a lifetime. Oh, there are far more exciting things to chat about. Like treasure hunting, for instance. You got a look about you. I bet you've been to some dangerous places, haven't you? I'm Bonksy, by the way. I'm an adventurer myself. I have a few trinkets to sell from my last expedition. Want to take a look? Good to see you. I don't know. I got an offer to supply ingredients for healing potions. But honestly, that doesn't sound very exciting. My adventures are more about leaping over chasms and escaping collapsing ruins than gathering wildflowers. Maybe so, but it's still not worth spending as much time on it as Alwyn wants. I could be exploring underground labyrinths or running from guards across rooftops instead. You know what? You're right. That could work. But I can't go anywhere until I sell off all my wares. How about it? Want to take the lot? I'll give you a big discount. Yes? Did you manage to scrape together the money? Oh, I hope so. I'm starting to feel like I'm rooted to this spot. Fantastic! If you don't need something, you can always sell it later, and even make a profit. Let Alwyn know I'm in, and I can't wait for my first trip to gather ingredients. Life's too short to play it safe. Where's the fun in that?
You doing okay?
Hello there. Looking for something special today? Well, that's not ideal. I was hoping at least most of them would be willing to invest. It won't be easy to make it work, but we'll do our best. Ailey will remain as head of the hospital, and at least for now, some of the financial burden will be lifted from her shoulders. As for the future, well, who knows? Avalon is vast and full of opportunities. Maybe something else will come our way. It's been a pleasure. Until next time.
Help a soul out on your journey, will you?
Oi, you. You're new here, aren't you? I don't think I've seen you around before. Ah, no, sorry. It's just that we don't see many new faces around here. Just us and the locals and, well, if you haven't noticed yet, they're not the friendliest bunch. Ha! You've seen nothing yet. They'd spit right in our eyes if they weren't afraid for their hides. We're here for their own good, but they just refuse to understand that. It's not like I don't have better things to do with my life. I've got a pregnant wife waiting for me at home, and they won't even let me buy a book for her. Yeah, about birthing and labour and whatnot. It's going to be our first, you see, so my wife's worried sick. I wanted to send it to her to ease her mind, you know? But that Dalrita wench chased me out of her bookshop and won't let me back in. I know, right? And here I thought I'd seen everything. I was sure they didn't even know how to read. Anyway, Vrel seems to hate my guts. Well, could you? I'd be really grateful. Just don't tell her it's for me. She won't sell it to you otherwise. Please, I'll pay you back. I'll even throw in something extra. Please, for my wife. Oh, thank you. You're a lifesaver.
Some spare food or coin? Anything else?
Welcome to Vrel's bookshop. No reading without buying. And if you're here for porn, kindly leave before you start. Hi. Not only can I read, I can even make recommendations. Imagine that. So, if you have a joke to tell, don't bother. I'm pretty sure I've heard them all. Perhaps it is. But you'd think that so-called civilized people would accept it with more grace. Hearing the same crude comments over and over again makes me feel like I've never left the training grounds. Then there are the braver ones who tell me I'm not welcome here. Hell, it's just like talking to my sister. They all have more in common than they think, although mostly it's just prejudice. They're not all bad. I know it might sound like I was some poor, misunderstood girl with unusual interests, but that wasn't the case. I was a rightful member of the tribe, and believe me, I didn't get my name for nothing. My father made sure of it. I just wasn't my sister. Funnily enough, she was the one who saw it as a problem. Vran believed that my lack of ambition to be the top Voker warrior somehow made her look bad. Every time I went to the temple to read in peace, she was on my ass about it. Until one day, she yelled at me to either step up or get the hell out of her tribe. You can guess the rest. I am no sure. When they decide to kick you out and take your name, they make a whole ceremony of it. But I left pretty much the moment my sister stopped yelling. You don't have to be there for it though. Vran might have been pissed off enough to go through with it. So, maybe. I don't really care. I'm not going to stop using my name just because my little sister told me to. Oh, great. How's she doing? Still on her path to becoming the pinnacle of tribal perfection? Of course she did. It doesn't surprise me that she decided to join a fanatic. Though it is amusing that she chose one capable of using compound sentences. She never believed in the power of words. But perhaps that's exactly why she ended up following a man who fed her beautiful lies. Welcome back. Oh, expecting a wee-in? Congratulations. Lucky you. I don't think I've seen a newborn in Cuanacht for as long as I've lived here. Is that so? How about you tell me the truth? Oh, is it now? Well, well, well. And why can't he come home and buy it himself? Oh, that's precious. I chased him off because he couldn't take no for an answer. He came in and tried to seduce me. Told me he just loves to devour books. But he'd gladly do the same with me. Books, sure. Maybe for breakfast, to add variety to his military fare. When I told him I wasn't interested, He got all pissed off and called me an ugly, dumb savage. I only let him leave with his teeth intact to avoid proving him right. Tell you what, I'll sell you that book. But fair warning, I'll be sending his poor wife the story of Giron the Unfaithful, with a special edition forward for me. Deal? You presume a man like that can be taught reason? I'm afraid the book's lesson will be completely lost on him, if he even bothers to read it. He might just tear out a few pages every time he goes to the privy. Fine. I won't make myself a hypocrite out of spite. I'll send his wife the priestess's book. May Mather at least bless her with a smooth labour, since she couldn't bless her with a decent man. Well, I'm glad someone here is interested in my books. See you next time.
Oh, forgive the mess. I didn't really have much choice about where to set up my things. Normally I'd be in a tavern, but, well, it looks like the tavern is closed until further notice. That means Varel's bookshop is the only place where I can read and work in peace. Oh, of course, my apologies. I'm Imran. My thoughts tend to drift far from the present. I'm a scholar of sorts, though not the kind that hides behind walls of parchment. My calling is to seek out traces of what was lost, ruins, relics, anything older than old. And yes, I'm a Pict. Not many of us wander these lands, I know. Staying in one place isn't exactly in my nature, so I travel. I learn. I dig through the bones of the world, hoping to find something more ancient than mankind. If you're asking out of politeness, let's just leave it at this. I thank you for your interest, but I won't give an answer. Trust me. I could talk the hind leg off a donkey. No need to waste time on such things. Wow! That's really kind of you. So, thanks to Varel's generosity, I managed to get my hands on a certain book. Well, once a book. Now it's just a pile of loose pages. However, these are some truly fascinating loose pages. They're the writings of a Dalariata scribe from nearly 6 centuries ago. Incredible, right? But what's even more astonishing is the content. This man describes encounters with people who knew nothing of King Arthur or the homelands. Nothing at all. Do you understand what that suggests? I'll tell you. It's so exciting. I suspect Avalon may have already been inhabited by a race similar to us, long before our arrival. I've traveled across much of the island, and I've come across some mentions of the people of Farpoint, a place far in the northernmost reaches of Avalon. Few have ever ventured there. Perhaps the weirdness started to gather and ruin their crops, or made hunting more dangerous. Or maybe it was some sort of conflict that forced them to seek a new place on the island. Or perhaps they simply had a nomadic spirit. It's hard to say with the scraps of information I've managed to gather so far. And so, my friend, here we are, staring down the question, or rather the flood of questions that wouldn't leave me alone. Many Picts I've known have prolonged contact with the weirdness. I thought it was just them, a bunch of lunatics, who first dared to embrace that strange force. And what if it was the first men who knew how to live alongside the weirdness? And think about it. If we could uncover how they did it, the possibilities would be endless. It could change everything. But now, I'm trying to pull together more valuable information from these writings. But honestly, I feel like I'm hitting a wall. I won't uncover anything new just sitting here. And unfortunately, I'm stuck here for the time being. I got injured on my way to Cuanacht, and I'm not quite back to my full strength yet. The Grotto of First Men. That tribal scribe detailed where it should be located. And I'm assuming you're asking for a reason, aren't you? I'd love to go there myself, but this is a matter of some importance to me. I don't want to wait for this one. So, if you're one of those bold souls who take such ventures, I'd be more than willing to entrust this task to you. Truly excellent. I'm deeply obliged, my friend. Here are the notes. They should guide you to the location. Return swiftly and, more importantly, safely. I'll eagerly be awaiting your return. I once heard a legend of a mysterious chapel that appears only to those it chooses. Many adventurers have gone to seek it, but I've never heard of anyone returning to tell the tale. Some say it holds a sacred spring that cures all ailments. Others say it is a passage to the very bottom of the sea, the domain of the Lord of the Seas himself. But I've never found any proof of either claim.
You doing okay?
Spare a coin for the hungry.
If I just stay put, everything will be okay. Hi, have you had a chance to drop by the bookshop yet? What? I wasn't harassing her. I was just being friendly. I don't see what the big deal is. Besides, she should be grateful. I bet a savage like her doesn't get all that many compliments, especially not from men like me. What? What is this shit? What am I supposed to do with this? Did that Rita bitch put you up to this? A savage, teaching me morals. Don't make me laugh. So I like women. What of it? What my wife doesn't know won't hurt her. Besides, what else am I supposed to do when I'm away from her for months on end? A man has needs, you know? I'm not a red priest, damn it. Take your money and get lost. I don't want to talk to you again.
Haven't seen your face around here before. A visitor, eh? Try to stay out of trouble. I'd rather not have to put your name on the bounty board. No, that'd be Sheena. I keep this camp running and make sure everyone's pulling their weight. Idle hands have no place in Camelot's army, especially not on a mission like this. Trouble is, we've got more work than men. So if you're looking to earn some coin, check the notice board. I've posted a few bounties. I can't spare any soldiers to deal with things outside of Cuanacht, but I'll be damned if I let those bandit scum run loose. I handle what makes soldiers fight. Sheena handles what keeps them comfortable. You want glory and gold? See me. You want a softer pillow or a warm meal? That's Sheena's domain. Legate Denham is in charge here. Sometimes I wonder if he upset someone higher up to get sent on this mission, because this place It's a damn mess. Lord Yvain's acting like a maiden on her wedding night. The Red Priests are throwing their weight around, and the locals are ignoring the fact that they're all about to be swallowed by the weirdness. I have no idea how the legate puts up with it all. But, well, at least he's got me to make sure his orders are carried out.
I'll await your return.
You need something? Ah, here's our troublemaker. You've really caused a stir around here with that spectacle in front of the menhir. I had everything in order. The cart was ready, and people were all set to move to Camelot. But now, you appear out of nowhere, and suddenly a dying pile of stones lights up like a bonfire. That's bad. That's very bad. Firstly, because now I have to write yet another report to Camelot that we're going to be late, and that they need to send us even more supplies. Secondly, you've somehow reignited the menhir, and this has reignited people's hopes that they can stay, and that's dangerous. And before you ask why it's dangerous, take a look around town. The recent Red Death outbreak took its toll, and I'm pretty sure things are just going to get worse and worse. But you should be thankful to them. Their hopes are the only reason we haven't locked you up for sabotaging our initiative. That's the assumption I decided to go with, and that's why we're talking. Perhaps there's still a chance to sort out this mess. You can go tell Murig that your presence doesn't change anything about our deal, and that you are unwilling to help with his endeavors, whatever they may be. And if he doesn't listen, play along, but come back to me when you learn what he has planned. Murig, who apparently prefers to be called Maggot, is a druid, even though he may not look the part. And druids are the only ones who know the rituals necessary to ignite the menhirs. Due to bad luck, or more accurately, the decisions of my superiors, our options for druids are limited. That's why I'm forced to work with Murig, and prophet be my witness, neither of us is happy about that. But I'm no fool. I know that what happened in front of the menhir might make Murig consider double-crossing us. He'll try to find a way to reignite the menhir so that it could stay in Cuanacht despite our agreement. So, if you ever find out what he's planning, if he ever asks you to fetch something for his ritual, you make sure you come to me first. Isn't it obvious? For the safety of all the residents of Avalon. Only by gathering the menhirs in one place and reigniting them will we be able to keep ourselves safe from the weirdness. Avalon's population has significantly declined over recent years. We're on the brink of extinction, damn it. That's why we need to stick together, to take care of each other. Only Camelot possesses the necessary infrastructure to establish the right conditions for its people. If they remain here, they will die, either from the weirdness itself or from the horde of monsters it spawns. And there aren't enough soldiers here for their protection. You must know that I didn't come here just to obey orders. I truly believe that this is the only way to save everyone on Avalon. Then at the very least, we'll have bought some time for those wiser than us to think of an alternative solution. Perhaps we will invade Tuathan, like in the glorious old days. Or perhaps someone will find a way to free the derelict fleet, allowing us return to the homelands. I don't know. But there's one thing I'm certain of, and I'll repeat it as often as necessary. Only by standing together can we overcome the weirdness. Scattering our people across the island is the worst solution, and it's a sure path to our ruin. If only it were just one. Sorry. You're talking about the poor man in hospital, right? He's a scout. We've been preparing to evacuate the residents, and I sent him out a while back to make sure the route to Camelot was safe and clear. Looks like he tried to take a shortcut through the waterworks. That's where they found him, babbling and talking nonsense. The weirdness must have caught him. We'll have the Mynheer with us, so we're not going to share his fate. But we still don't know if the way is clear. You look like someone who's seen a fair bit of Avalon and isn't afraid to travel alone. I could use someone like that to finish the job my scout couldn't complete. Of course, you'd be properly compensated. Take the road to Camelot, all the way to the Iron Gate, and report back on whether it's clear. Handle any smaller threats yourself, and tell me about any larger ones. The sooner the better. Think you can manage that? Great. Head out then. No need to write a report. Just come see me when you're back. I'll await your return.